Like properly with a passion.
Was earlier that
He's up to 3,000.
they most of his family don't really approve of gambling, but he's doing so obviously they're all supporting him in this match. Very successful businessman, Sammy, and he's obviously been very successful since his entrance into the poker world.
Check. 5,000.
Is there a reason for Tom to continue here?
I think there is. Ace High has a reasonable chance of being the best hand. And on top of that, he has the gut shot to the wheel that will very nearly always be good. And an ace will often be good.
Go over the top. I already said it. I said if he has it, good luck to him. If he doesn't, cool.
I mean, taking into account what Sammy actually had, Tom clearly made the best play. But there's something to think about there with Ace 3 for sure.
Like 10 times a day to sign up to like this hotel thing. It's driving me mad. I keep telling please don't call me anymore.
There's so many spam phone call things going on.
It's kidding me, man. They're wanting my credit card number.
1,000.
You know, there's like a do not call list in the U.S. that maybe you could be on. I don't know. If
His body language right now, Sammy, he just seems like he's looking around. All of a sudden, he's been a bit distracted from the game.
He's up to 3,000.
I don't even think I'm on.
I think he may have just lost back his lead.
Because I call my phone so much. I don't know.
True.
I don't know.
That's a good idea. That do not call. Do not call. Very good.
Check.
And I mean, those currents are so important. Should Durrrr be kind of pushing things a little bit right now, maybe?
It's just too easy to
Well,
build a program.
it's almost purely a
fast
psychological thing, so he has to make a decision about what he thinks Sammy is thinking. In terms of the technical dynamics of the play, going from Sammy has 260,000, Durrrr has 240 to the reverse, doesn't really impact how they should be playing. But psychologically, it can make a world of difference.
Do you think Sammy's sort of more likely to kind of clam up a little bit then? Kind of get closer to even, or
maybe get more aggressive. It can be really hard to predict.
It's 00461.
Oh, so that's a London number, right?
I don't know, but it's like a US.
Maybe it's
It's
Canada?
like it's Canada.
461? Huh? Maybe it's just the zip. And
3,000.
there's not 001? 00. So weird.
00461.
I don't know.
suited ace.
Call.
But I mean, that can't be efficient telemarketing, right? Because it costs like 30 seconds. Or 30
It's kidding me, but I tell you what, I think.
And this is one of the very sort of few
American
times where Durrr's going to peel off a flop, just sort of calling the big blind.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, he's mostly been folding or re-raising, but here he goes for a call.
Just annoying. 2, 3, 4.
Check. Check.
And he makes a straight.
So you have to bet this on the river now,
Oh, close.
if you're Tom, or think
It'd be
about...
interesting to try going for a check raise also, actually.
Oh, he has to
Sammy
be a
would be
little
likely
silly.
to, if he hit the 8, try and bet that for value.
Anyhow, I would
Though,
jack.
maybe he's just checked back with an ace high several times, and now he's gonna...
No.
Oh, Tom bet triple the pot there. That's,
Have the money.
Greedy.
greedy, yeah. I wonder if he's just
He's 3 hours is gone pretty quick.
trying to make Sammy
next
feel
time
like
with
he's
you, bro.
bullying him,
I'm
and
with you.
Sammy needs to take a stand. It's not like Sammy's going to often have a strong hand there, so he's betting triple the pot and hoping to get called by ace high or bottom pair or something like that.
Rise up to 3,000.
All right.
Call.
We're having so much fun.
It's so sick in the head.
We're evens now, and I want to go till 6.
Check.
Feels like in this kind of spot, because Durr's got nothing, aren't you more likely to make a continuation bet when you've got such a bad
100%.
hand?
Check.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't do it every single time you've got
There you go.
nothing,
Now you
because
got 6-4.
then on a board like that you're just not making a strong hand on all that often. Most of your bets are going to be with bad hands if you bet every time you flop 2 worthless cards between a 3 and a jack.
Well, this has come out just perfect. Straight on the river and the raise.
8,500.
So 6 more.
Should get the money.
8.5 more.
8,500 more.
Ah,
Pass.
Yeah.
okay, let's get back to that. Mode, man.
And Sammy now going for the sort of countdown of the chips. He does, I think, as you said, he's actually getting a little impatient and maybe a little more aggressive trying to get back even.
Yeah, it does look that way. He's looking a little restless.
Raise up to 3,000.
He jumped off to a big lead early. It's got to be a little frustrating to be starting to give it back.
Dwan has such a great sort of presence at the table as far as the live game goes. It's very hard to get any sort of read about, I don't know, what's going through his head.
Yeah, he's sort of inscrutable like that.
Check.
Is that something that you practice as well? Just kind of doing the same thing every time?
Check.
Definitely, yeah.
You're thinking about bluffing there? Representing all them draws on the board? Be a believable one.
Also, good spot for Sammy here now that he's
Why would you go and do
hit top
that?
pair on the end. And Tom's so likely to have ace or king high the way he's played this.
Why can't I just keep my mouth shut? See, that's why I don't talk during poker.
Why?
Because now I have a decision to make.
Yet another overbet, too. I didn't
Just haven't
notice
checked
that
the river.
immediately.
I was pretty sure it was a 5. I was hoping it was a 6 all along, but
This feels like a good spot for it, with Tom having checked back twice. He really isn't going to have better than ace or king high very often at all. Even ace high he's not going to have that often. He'd be likely to bet that on the turn.
Didn't show it. And a few more chips there. Sammy George. Have a look at the stats. And all of a sudden, Tom's opened up sort of a gap in how many hands he's winning. I mean, it should be 50-50.
Yeah, exactly. Heads up is an evenly balanced game. Should be going 50-50.
In heads-up play, sort of is the edge on those small pots where no one's got anything? I mean, is a 55% to 44, is that decisive?
Raise up to
Well, it's over so few hands that, to a significant extent, it could just represent Tom getting dealt the best hand more often. But if you play 10,000 hands and you're winning 55% of them, it's extremely likely that you're the person who's winning money in that matchup.
Do you feel like heads-up, sort of over the long haul, the results come down to how you play big pots or how you grind away the small?
I think that in the long run, the small pots actually end up mattering more, though
3,000.
it's sort of situationally dependent. In certain matchups, it can be the reverse. If somebody is playing really poorly in the very big pots, somebody's playing in such a way that, you know, they get to win more small pots because they just refuse to give up in the big pots. Once it gets over 10 big blinds, the rest are just going in. Then they might win more than half the hands and still be the underdog in the matchup. But in general, I think that it does come down to who is picking up the small pots.
Call.
Sort of every opponent is different. Every matchup is different.
Absolutely.
Balloons.
There are a lot of different ways to win in Heads Up No Limit.
Check.
Check. Check.
I have the feeling that Tom's sort of strategy here
Please.
is
Stop.
sort of overall in this match has been sort of playing tricky and sort of letting things happen early on, trying to get in good situations when the big pots happen, or...
It does seem that way, yeah. Though, there's definitely been a component of trying to win the smaller medium pots, too. Like we were talking about earlier, Sammy's made the nut flush now. We'll bet
20,000.
again.
7 deuce.
And once again, Tom quickly folds. He does not seem to be giving Sammy much credit for making a lot of river bluffs. But like I was saying earlier, a definite part of Tom's strategy, at least early on, had seemed to be setting up those pots where he 3-bets and continuation bets to pick up
Rejuvenate
10 or
your
11
balls.
big blinds.
Just to let you look like, literally, your eyes were popping out of your head.
I forget, like, you know, how awesome the standard day-to-day feeling of life
Raise
is.
up to 3,000.
Come on, buddy. Serious
Re-raise
pop.
How awesome it is
11,000.
to find the aces.